What's going on, everyone? Thanks for joining me back on the channel and checking out today's video. Back in the garage with the G here. I was kind of going through some old comments, some old videos, and one of the videos that kind of sparked a bunch of debate is the video I posted of the install of the EPS PCV delete kit. Prior to installing it on my G, I have had it on the Z for quite some time with great results, no issues with it. So I decided about a year ago, I think it was 11 months ago, I looked at the video a few minutes ago. Anyway, about almost a year ago, I decided to install it on the G, basically for just like more so for long-term reliability and just keeping the intake tract clean. So if you don't already know, the PCV system basically vents pressure from the crankcase and it routes it back through the intake system and then through the throttle body intake manifold, and basically the logic is that anything that's sucked back in will be burned off. In theory, it's a great idea, but really oil isn't meant to go through your intake system, so over time it can gum up your intake tube, your throttle body, valves, and all that, and it does have a possibility of causing problems. And on top of that, another issue that it could cause is when oil interacts with the fuel, it actually lowers the octane rating of the fuel, which it's not really likely that's going to cause any crazy problems on a mostly stock vehicle, but on a car with higher horsepower and that's really getting a lot of fuel in there and really relies on the higher octane rating, it is a possibility that it could cause some problems. So one thing that I found was a common issue or complaint with that install was a lot of people were concerned that with deleting the PCV system and basically venting it to atmosphere, which this kit does, is that it's going to cause a lot of mess in the engine bay and oil's going to get all over. So what I want to do today is I want to pull off the engine cover, locate those filters, and just see how much oil, if any, has been splattered around or if there's a mess under there. I have put about 10,000 miles. It's been almost a year, like I said. I have put about 10,000 miles on the car since install, have not cleaned the filters, have not really, cleaned the engine or anything around those filters. So this will be a good representation of this kit and if it stays clean or not. Then after we take a look at those filters, I want to actually pull off the intake tubes and take a look at the throttle bodies. At the same time that I did the PCV delete, I also cleaned the throttle bodies and all the stuff, in the intake manifold. So it'll be nice to see if, the kit's doing its job and, if there's any dirt or anything that's accumulated since then. So the filters are right under here. There's two of them from each valve cover. So if we take a look first at the front of the engine, if we look for any oil residue or anything like that, you don't see any whatsoever. So to pull this cover off, it's just two nuts up front and then three little screws back here, and then the whole cover pops off and we can access those filters and see how they look. Alright, so the front cover is off. I'm actually going to give a little bit of light down here. So if we look at the filters themselves, they do look a little bit dirty. They could use a cleaning. I'm not going to clean them tonight. Just want to do this little, checkup on them. So I have to clean them another day. But there definitely is some oil residue on the filters themselves. In front of the filters on the wire loom, there's no oil that's visible or really on the front of the engine. Now, if we do look down in here below the filters, you can see a tiny bit of what looks like some oil residue, but nothing that's major. And then once these these filters come off, you can get down there with a little rag and pretty much dry up any little bit of residue that's there. But on the intake manifold itself, there's no oil residue that I see at all. And in case you didn't see the other video, it routes down here to the elbow there and then connects to the valve cover on either side. And there's the other side. Alright, so now after pulling the cover off, we can see that the filters themselves, they did collect some of that oil residue that would normally go through your intake. So they are dirty, they do need to be cleaned. Again, I'm not doing that tonight, but there's no oil residue on the front of the engine or on the intake manifold. There is a little bit underneath where the filters are, but again, it's nothing that's, causing a problem or getting just, nasty oil everywhere. It's something that you can easily clean with a little rag once you take those filters off to clean them. And truthfully, it's been, like I said, about 10,000 miles. I think if you clean these every oil change, I think you would limit that, accumulation of oil in the filters and then possibly, the little bit of oil dripping down onto the engine underneath. So overall, yes, there is a little bit of oil residue around the filter, so, you can't really deny that. It's obviously visible, but in my opinion, it's nothing that's that would keep me from getting this kit or recommending this kit. Again, it could be from my lack of maintenance on these filters that, like I said, kind of lets it drip around or spread once the filters are kind of soaked with the oil. So now what I want to do, which I'm actually much more interested in seeing, is pull off the intake tube and take a look at the throttle body and see if this kit's doing its job. All right, so if you have the stock intake tubes, getting these off is very simple. just loosen the clamp here on the throttle body. And sometimes what helps a little bit is if you loosen this little screw here that's attached to the corner of the air box, just to give it a little bit more wiggle room. So once that's loose, I have this one off. I'm just gonna go ahead and take this bottom one off just so we can get this completely out of the way and get a nice view of the throttle body. So if we look down here in the throttle body, you can see that it's perfectly cleaned. It's just how I left it when I cleaned it, you know, like I said, over almost a year ago and 10,000 miles. Before I cleaned it, there was all, you know, caked up residue on the butterfly and all around here. You will get a little bit of carbon buildup just naturally from the combustion of the fuel and air and all that stuff. But in terms of oil residue, there is none to be seen whatsoever. Like I said, it's clean as, you know, the day that I cleaned it almost a year ago. So the PCV Delete Kit is definitely doing its job. So there you have it. The EPS PCV Delete Kit is definitely doing its job. No oil residue that I can see that's being sucked up through the intake. So I'm really happy to see that. I kind of, you know, expected to see this. It's kind of just, you know, physics that it's not going to go through the intake system anymore. But, you know, just to show anybody that had questions about this or wanted to know about the long-term effects or the longevity of this product, I just wanted to do this video and show you that it does in fact work, you know, minus the little bit of oil residue, which is very minor. Like I said, it's almost, to me at least, it's almost not worth mentioning. And if you are between the PCV Delete Kit or a catch can, this is usually the cheaper option. So personally, like I said, I would deal with a little bit of oil residue. And actually, you know, seeing this, I'd probably clean them a little sooner and maybe able to, you know, to avoid that altogether. So like I said, hope this video helps you. Again, thanks to EPS for this great kit. They put this nice kit together that's directly bolt-on, you know, and they even come with the block-off plugs there if you're running the stock tubes, or the caps if you have an aftermarket intake. So thank you very much to them for this awesome product. If you're interested in it, I'll put the link to their Facebook and where you can shop for their products in my description. It's definitely a product I would recommend. Again, just for long-term peace of mind. You know, may not, you know, give you a notice performance increase or anything like that, but I'm the type of person that really likes to have that peace of mind that, you know, everything's functioning the way it should be and I'm not getting any gunk or anything in there that shouldn't be there. All right, everyone, so thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, anything to say, you can drop a comment down below. If this video helped you or if you enjoyed it, please give a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. As always, I really appreciate all the continued support, so thank you to all my current viewers and subscribers. It means a lot to me and I really appreciate it. Everyone, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day. Good luck working on your car, whatever your next project is, and I will see you next time.